Cool.
Okay,
Okay.
you can start.
In this episode of the Madhouse Podcast, we talk to Maria Kibera, an architect based in Netherlands currently, and we ask her about her processes and all the cool things she's been up to. So, like, not wasting time, just like share with guys who you are, what you be cooking up, the whole 9 yards. I don't know what you be up to. You're just laughing. Can you
Right,
go?
right.
Uh-huh. You're thinking
Pardon?
about it. Oh, I wish we should have recorded video for this podcast because like you went like anyway, I was asking,
No,
just introduce
you
yourself.
actually.
Just introduce yourself. Sorry, just introduce yourself.
Oh, interesting.
Share with
Okay,
guys.
okay.
Tell them what you do, what you're up to.
But you're skipping. Your sound is skipping.
My sound is skipping. Is this better?
I'm okay. Oh, you said I'm okay. You introduce yourself.
Yes.
My name is Maria Kibera. My name is Maria Kibera. I am 29 years old.
Okay, old.
Turning 30 this year. Yay!
Old woman.
Yeah, pretty old. Yeah. But yeah, that is me in a nutshell, I guess.
Yeah, so what do you do? Details. Like, no details. No. Sorry. Yeah, it's a Creative Asylum podcast. But that's I know all about like cool things people do. And I know you do some pretty cool things. So yeah. Can you just tell people the cool things you've been up to? Like start with the current one and then we'll go back in history. Cool, but... Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I mean
okay. Currently I am working in a spatial strategy and design firm in The Hague. Okay. And they deal mainly with spatial strategies, resilient cities, designing for resilient cities, and water-based design, public space design, urban design on a small scale as well as on a larger scale. We use a lot of GIS mapping tools, the software, and yeah, so in a nutshell, that is it. We work mainly with municipalities, which are like town councils, I guess. Okay. And yeah, and cool. A few private companies, but mostly municipalities, because a lot of public space design is usually public, and that usually falls into the realm of government. Okay. That's nice. Yeah. That's nice. So could you tell us how this whole cool journey started? Just share with us. Just like a quick, I mean, you can summarize. Can't you summarize how you started? No, I cannot summarize. You want to go into detail, eh? Like where you started? How the school started. Yeah. How the school? No. I'll give a basic summary. Yeah. Yeah, I started in, of course, Uganda. I did my bachelor's in environmental design in Uganda, and after which I did 4 years working experience in the architecture field. Okay. Within Uganda and also on projects within East Africa. Okay. And in particular, I was working with a company called FBW. Okay. And we were working on the Aga Khan University in Dar es Salaam. That was huger than like, it was bigger than our usual like one building project, and that really interested me into design on a larger scale, designing for groups of buildings, not just one building. I mean, yeah. So after 3 to 4 years working there, I decided to do my master's in urban planning and policy design. Okay. At Politecnico di Milano in Italy. And yeah, and while there was, it was an amazing experience. I can't deny. I studied a lot of policy framework, policy analysis, as well as understanding basically how, because urban planning on a larger scale has to do with basically designing principles and guidelines that what are these called, that contractors or developers then follow Because usually a developer will come and say, I want to build this housing estate
Yeah.
in this particular place, and they'll hire an architect, right, to say, okay, I'm going to build this and that, and they have to get in touch with the government.
Yeah.
And the government says, okay, this zone has these particular rules and guidelines that you need to follow, the water passes here and stuff like this, and you can't design past a certain height in this area, and maybe it's a residential area or maybe it's a commercial area. So basically formulating these principles and tools that developers will then later use was basically what I was trying to understand and grasp, and how to do so in a sustainable manner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, while I was in Italy, I got the chance to do a 1-year double degree course in China.
Okay.
Which of course I took on because I figured, hey, it's almost the fastest growing economy that I know in terms of urban planning.
Yeah.
They have cities that come out of the blue, literally. Okay, not out of the blue, but they really develop super quick. And that caught my eye, that caught my attention, and I was like, I need to be there. This is where I need to be.
Yeah.
And so I went and I did 1 year there, and it was amazing. It was such an amazing experience. I did some internships in a couple of urban design companies while there, and I was, by the time I came back, I was just super energized to keep working in to keep practicing what I had learned. So which is what I'm now doing. And
cool.
And I also think there's the Netherlands is an amazing place to practice this as well, because it's one of the well-planned cities, at least in Europe, and it's known for its amazing bike paths and stuff, and pedestrian-oriented design, and all that and more, which is kind of lacking in our context.
In Africa, we just put a house where we want, allegedly. I don't know if that's true, but I guess we'll blame some people. We just blame ourselves. So I just wanted to ask, what is I like to talk about challenges and how you overcome challenges.
So you're asking me what are the challenges I'm facing and how I overcome them?
Yeah. Especially let's start from let's break it down to 3 parts. Is it possible? Let's talk about at one challenge from the FBW days, designing like bigger projects as we're working at FBW, and then just transitioning from that to going back to school, and then balancing that school, and then also just navigating that whole dynamic as you're trying to learn these new superpowers of yours.
Well, to start with, I think working at FBW was an amazing experience. I think for me, it was the right move to do after undergraduate, after my bachelor's, because I learned so much at FBW, so much. I mean, it was very challenging in the sense that I was literally fresh from uni. My ideas were not yet refined. My drawing skills were not yet refined. So it was a lot of learning. I feel like FBW nurtured me a lot. They taught me so much that I am forever grateful to them. And I wouldn't have it any other way if I was to turn back the hands of time. I mean, the way in which they work is very legit. I don't know if I can say it in a better way, but it's really unique.
Is it intense?
I like it. It is intense, of course. I mean, I think in this field, in the architecture field or in the urban planning field, generally, I think in the creative design field, it's always intense. Because as soon as you have deadlines, it's which is almost, I think, every other week, it gets super intense. So, I mean, there are ways of coping. I mean, I coped because, of course, I kept saying, okay, I'm not alone in this. I have God, and I'm not working out of my own strength. I'm not using my own wisdom and stuff. But I mean, God has provided me this super amazing talents. So I can do it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that was my main coping mechanism. But it was always intense. Like I don't remember it not ever being intense, but it was fun at the same time.
Okay.
Because the people there were pretty fun. Yeah.
Okay. And then school, moving from like living.
Transitioning back to school.
Yeah.
For me was not a problem actually. It was super easy to transition into school, going back to school and stuff, because I guess why was it easy for me to transition? I'm really trying. I mean, I didn't have any problems.
Oh, you were just too excited to like. It was easy because you were like looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was actually. I was really looking forward to it, and I mean, the only hard part about it was leaving home, actually. Until now, I've not yet gone back home, so yeah, that was the hardest part.
Are they calling? Are they saying, "Where's Maria? We want Maria back"?
Yeah, I think that was it. But otherwise, I didn't really face so much challenges. Yeah.
Cool. And then I just want to understand, like, from coming from here, like coming from 256, what are like some of the interesting, like, from a cultural and like especially from a design perspective, that you maybe had to unlearn and then like learn as you're going through all these stages through your design career? Were there any interesting things from like you get like from a very Ugandan, let's say, cultural thinking design and how we solve problems with design, and then going there and like, oh, I have to unlearn this because that's not really how things are, how things work. Yeah.
I think the main thing was having to switch from the contextual design that I was used to. I mean, when you're designing stuff in Uganda, you have to be thinking of the Ugandan climate. You have to be thinking, if you're putting trees, you're thinking, okay, evergreen trees and stuff. Yeah. I remember once asking in the company I'm working for now, like, why don't you use this kind of trees and stuff? And then they said, those trees are not, they would eat up the soil basically here. And I was like thinking, but they are nice trees. I mean, they grow back home so nicely, and they create such a nice shade. And if you put them in your row and stuff, they look so nice. Yeah. And it didn't hit me until they explained. I was like, here it's all about ecology. Yeah. They need trees that are not evergreen. They need trees that are going to shed their leaves at some point in the year. Yeah. In winter they'll shed, or in fall. The leaves will fall in autumn. Yeah. Okay. The leaves will fall, and then they will give back to the earth, basically. Yeah. And then in spring they'll come back to life and bloom. Yeah. Which we don't exactly have. Like, I mean. Yeah, our trees sort of are green for like. I mean, the thing is that I was always proud of this. I was always proud of having evergreen trees, right? Yeah. But to see it from another perspective was mind blowing for me. I mean, I had to unlearn a lot of.
I can also see like the balance of systems. It's like as if they're saying the nature and the buildings and everything else sort of balance each other out without a lot of human intervention.
Kind of thing. But also the way in which they maintain, the way in which they design for maintenance. Yeah. These are things that they think about way before. Like you've been getting to, like at the beginning of the design, you're already asking you, okay, how can you maintain this thing and stuff. But
as compared to designing for aesthetic.
Yes, as compared to designing for aesthetic.
Because I think we do that a lot here, where it looks nice in the first few days. Then you're like, hey, how are we going to maintain this thing? That's the trend.
Yeah. That's the trend now there, because a lot of the designs that are coming up are designs that are very modern, but are not even really contextual. I think, I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, basically, I had to unlearn a lot of the way I thought about. I think the way I saw what was good and what was bad, and to critique it in a sensible way, not just to be proud and patriotic and say, oh no, mine is better. But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I'm very interested in, like, of all the things you've done, I would like to know where you really failed and what you learned from that failure and how it made you like a better designer throughout this crazy journeys of yours. Yes, because
I think for all the listeners, it would be very helpful just to kind of know, like a failure, a point where you said, okay, I really felt that in this time, I really felt that I figured something out, or I learned something from that, and then I worked on it like this, and now, yeah.
I think I can just give an example from when I was working in China.
Yeah.
I was working for a company called Stefano Poeri Architecti, and he does a lot of green designs, like buildings with green facades and balconies with a lot of green and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we were designing a science city in Guangzhou, in China, in the southern part of China, and there was a lot of work that needed to be done for that project. And I came onto the project when we were usually just beginning, and so there was so much to do and so much work to staff, and so many drawings to draw. And so we were drawing and stuff and do late nights, and the Chinese culture is very different. I mean, if it's working late, they will work super late. And I remember one time trying to do a particular drawing the way I thought it should be done. And my supervisor kept saying, no, this is wrong, no, this is wrong, no, like 10 times I think he said, no, this is wrong. I was like, what the hell? Like, what is correct then? Like, I got frustrated, he got frustrated, and then he said, you know what, just go home. I said, what? I did not want to go home, honestly, because I felt it's unfair to leave them there working. And at the same time, I did not understand what it was that he wanted, but there was so much pressure that there was no room to actually figure out, okay, how best can I go about this? How best can I produce something that is sensible and creative, and at the same time in time, right? Not some half-baked, I don't know, good and without, and also how to interact with people when there's a lot of stress going on and stuff. And this is my supervisor, right? So you cannot just up and out of the blue say, dude, just take your thing, man, figure it out. So I think at that point I really felt like a failure, actually. Not like a failure, but I really felt like I failed. And I remember the next day asking him, okay, look, what could I have done better? Like, how best would you want me to work with you? What style is better? Like, this is what I do. This is what I'm good at. This is how and stuff. But how can we improve what I am already doing? So that was the project basically. But it was. I really felt bad during that time.
Yeah. Anything you learned from that painful experience, like a lesson we could take on from you? Wise words from Maria.
I learned a lot. I learned, first of all, number one, keep your cool. If everyone around you is running crazy, you gotta keep your cool, like literally, because if people are shouting at you, demanding drawings, demanding what, and things are not going right, if you also like if you're very fragile and your ego is easily hurt, then I don't know, man. I don't know how you're going to survive, because most creatives I know just up and out of the blue diss your work, and I'm like, okay. But just to be strong in it and say, okay, you know what, I can do better. Or ask for another chance and say, you don't like this, okay, how can I make it better? Give me another chance. I'll try it again, even if it's way after. I'm like, you should seek critique after, when everything has calmed down, because usually in the moment when you want to seek critique and you're like, okay, but how can I do it, the other party is still on a high. You understand? So wait for things to cool down after the project maybe is done, and then say, okay, I'm evaluating how I took on this project. How can I do things better? How can I design better? How can I, where are the points that I can grow? And in that way you end up growing, actually, which is something that we do a lot in the company I'm working at now. There's a lot of critiquing and evaluation after deadlines, after meetings, which is good, I think.
That's nice. So I just want to know, now let's talk about exciting things as we come. Like what is, like, as you are, what you're working on now, what's like the most exciting stuff you're learning, and like stuff that just like blows your mind and just like, I didn't know that happened. It's cool. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
everything I'm working on, I knew that happened.
Yeah.
No, what is exciting about what I'm working on now?
Plus, I mean, whatever it is, but I mean, the traveling and like seeing places and meeting people and learning and growing. I don't know the whole.
Well, a couple of things, I guess. One, I think, would be I'm learning a lot of new software skills and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wasn't so comfortable with GIS, but
Okay. Could you explain what GIS is in for those non?
GIS is in full is geographic information systems. It's a tool that basically maps and assesses different spatial things.
Okay, we'll take that.
Yeah, I know. Like it will take a while to go deep into it. I mean, but I tried to grasp the most of it during my master's, but coming to the company, quite recently actually we worked on a project that required a lot of GIS analysis.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I mean, we basically mapped out the accessibility of amenities from a project site. Basically, so basically, if this is where if the project is in point A, from point A, if someone is walking from point A, how far would they have to walk to the next bakery, to the next supermarket, to the next shop, to the next hospital, to the next something like this within a 5-minute radius? How many things can they access within a 10-minute radius by walking or by cycling? How many amenities can they access? How many bus stations can they access? How many metro stations can they access? So to basically map that out was interesting, I guess. And usually you can't just draw a radius and say, okay, this radius is 10 meters and I'm drawing bubbles of 10 meters.
Yeah, again.
Bubbles of 10 radius, the actual walking route. You turn left, turn right on the other street and go like this. So that's what GIS basically does. It's around the site. And if you use this route, if you use whatever possible route, in 5 minutes you will reach this bakery like this, or this shop, supermarket and stuff like this. So yeah, that blew me away, honestly.
It's like designing for people in the city. It's like designing for people's needs.
Yeah.
As compared to like saying, hey, exactly. It is ours. It's as compared to saying like I'm the mayor, it's my city, I design it for me. But like saying, okay, that's pretty cool.
Exactly. So we're basically saying we're putting this new project here and this is how it's going to benefit the area.
Okay. That's nice. We should borrow you. We should bring you back. We need your help. Kampala has its issues.
How is it about borrowing? I want to come back.
Kampala
that's the plan. That's the future goal.
Kampala has its issues. KCCM, I need your help. That's awesome. So as we conclude this cool podcast and episode, Maria, I just wanted to ask. I usually ask all the guests to share like wisdom. Also, for those who don't know, me and Maria have like a history, a very long history. So, kind of know each other. Yeah, it's weird, but I kind of know that for such a long time. But I just wanted. I feel like you've gone even wiser than me. You're older than. I feel like you're like 45, and I'm like 30-year-old here.
Lord.
I'm very excited, also very proud of you, what the cool things you've been up to. So share some wise words to conclude, something that you think the listeners, because it's a Creative Asylum podcast, all the listeners are creative people of some sort, I guess, and they just want to, if we're bored them for the past 30 minutes, let's let them take this, that something that you could leave with them that you think they can take on as they go and create some coolness in whatever it is that they create here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of things.
Yeah. Okay.
The first one, of course, every good and perfect gift comes from God.
Okay.
So whatever gift it is that you have in your hands, use it. When God asked Moses to go lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses said he couldn't. He was not capable. But God asked him, "What do you have in your hands?" And he said he had a staff. So basically, God will use whatever it is that you have, even if it's just the ability to draw or the ability to imagine beyond what you could ever think of. I mean, go for it. Do not hold yourself back or be deceived that you're not enough. You are enough, more than enough. And number two, do not waste any opportunity. Opportunities will come. Some will come back. Some will not. But do not waste any single opportunity.
Okay.
And because when you're exposed, you're more likely to be a better creative person.
Yeah.
And yeah, so get out there, get exposed, go to events, tour, travel, just get out there. Do not I don't think creatives are people who stay in their cocoons and stay indoors with the door around them and they're just drawing on their computer. I don't know.
But Maria, it's like you don't know me. I stay in my cocoon.
That's why I'm directing this to you. I'm encouraging you, Gabe.
I have YouTube. YouTube will expose me to the world, and then.
Oh gosh. No, but it's not just about exposing you to the world. It's about getting your mind thinking, getting your body and your soul and your whole energetic and creative vibes flowing. Basically,
Yeah,
it's just like exercising. I mean, when you exercise, you feel pumped, right?
Yeah.
So your creative engine needs pumping. It needs a lot of fuel, and sometimes you need to get out there to get that.
I get it. Yeah, true. I'm learning. I'll try to get out
creatives
more.
Creatives, get out of your cocoons.
I don't know if I have a cocoon, but yeah, I'll try to travel more. Mary, I'm coming to visit you, I think.
Come please.
I'll come visit. You take me to one of those funds. Opposite this lockdown. Okay, I'll be fine. Yeah, sure. So that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Maria, for your time, sharing you some your story, what you're up to.
Cool.
Where you've been.
Yeah,
things you've learned.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, and what's the recording?
You should say that in your podcast. Okay, where's the recording?
It's my podcast. You'll be fine.